Samuel Romani from the Royal United Services Institute. Samuel, good evening to you. I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you straight. Who do you think did this, Russia or Ukraine?
Well, I think that the evidence is overwhelming that it's probably Russia. It seems to be coming through, obviously, from U.S. intelligence documents that have been given to NBC News, for example, and the statements from most NATO ministers need to reflect this. Also, it's important to keep in mind that the Russians have basically launched a false flag about Ukraine and their responsibility for this dam back as early as last summer. So the Russians have been preparing for this for quite a long time.
Samuel, what are the consequences of this breach, both in terms of on the ground for people concerned in the area, but also militarily?
So I would say that the consequences for people on the ground is very, very tragic. Obviously, it's going to lead to a mass displacement of people. I've already seen that happen in Kherson. But when you're looking at the military dynamics, I don't think it's going to have that much of an immediate negative effect on the counteroffensive, because the primary axes of the Ukrainian counteroffensive are in South Donetsk, the outskirts of Bakhmut, Barkivka, for example, and also along the Zaporizhia axis to Melitopol. Kherson and the other side of it, the Dnieper River, is a secondary axis at best. So I think it's much worse for the local population than it is for the Ukrainian military.
Samuel, we heard in our report Volodymyr Zelensky talking about how important the dam is and saying that this could not have been done from outside. It had to be an inside job, i.e. the Russians. Why is this dam so strategically important?
Well, the dam is strategically important because of its location, right? It's obviously in close proximity, not just to Kherson, but also to some of the crucial nuclear plants. And obviously, so far we've seen evidence in the IAEA that the detonation of the dam has not threatened the Zaporizhia nuclear plant, but it's very clear that any kind of detonation here could have had massive reverberations for southern Ukraine's energy infrastructure. So that's probably what he's referring to. It's of great economic importance and also risks nuclear Armageddon if this would have spiraled even more out of control.
How do you interpret this from Russia's perspective, in the sense that what is this telling us about Russia's state of mind at this present moment of time? What does this attack tell us about Russia's command?
Well, basically what it's showing is that Russia's got very limited means to be able to escalate against the Ukrainians conventionally. And we've seen that with their threats to bomb decision-making centers in Kiev, only to find that the vast majority of their missiles and their drones keep getting intercepted by the neo-class air defenses. So they have very few conventional options, and one of the only things they can do is cause a massive disturbance like this by attacking the Nova Kakhovka Dam. I think we should interpret it as a sign of Russia's conventional military weakness and not a show of strength or a power play from Moscow.
Samuel Ramani from the Royal United Services Institute, thank you very much indeed for joining us here in France 24. We appreciate your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.